Can you tell that? Did they leave poopy stains on their hands? Well, they didn't have bleach wipes back then, but I would assume they had toilet paper. Jesus is about to mic drop these people. Are you ready? But anyway, Jesus right now is teaching the, if you watch the outside of the cup, it's not, it's worse. If you watch the outside of the cup instead of the inside, it doesn't really matter. You still suck. Oh, you can't, because you do one thing for these people and they expect you to make them live. They live off of you because they're rat snakes. Spit on this dude. He like gave him one of those wet willies. Oh, this is terrible. Sometimes you don't need all the mental gymnastics and word magic. You just have to read the Biblia and you got to make it fun. But nobody's going to read this shit. Do you know how much old English is in here? And how I have to word magic it into an actual fucking coherent story because of the way this is written. It's really hard for people to read this. So you got to make it funny or people are not even going to listen to you. Hey there, welcome. Welcome, weird ass black sheep to the party pit. Welcome. This is my humble sage cave, and I welcome you to it. And what we do here in this most amazing place is we take off our Devon Dudley sunglasses and we read this great ass book. It's called God Said, because God did not say that. We are on book 2 of this trilogy. It is called Jesus Who, like Jesus, comma, who, question mark. Yeah, because apparently people need to know God the Third because they do not know him. So I'm going to introduce you to him because he's a good guy. He's a good guy to know. Yes. So come this way. I have everything you need to join me this evening. I have cannabis, cigarettes, coffee, a chair with your name on it. Yeah, cat beds and canine space in case your tiny fur babies are sleepy. I have paid places for them. Yep. So we are on Mark chapter 7. So okay, we left off. Jesus healed this demon guy, and all of his demons ran into pigs. And then Jesus was asked kindly to remove himself. Kick rocks. So Jesus kicked rocks. And then he did something. Oh yeah, he fed all the people. So like he fed all the people with he has God for fish sandwich, God the second. He has God the second for fish sandwich for him and all of his friends. And God the second gave, God Jr. He gave God the third fish sandwich for him and all of his friends. And it was great. And then Jesus sent his disciples away, and apparently they were having a hard time in the water. So Jesus, laughing on the inside, walks up next to him on water, and they're freaking out, thinking it's a ghost. And Jesus is like, "Why do you think you're special enough for a ghost to haunt you? Like, tell me why you think you're that special." And he's like, "Shut up, don't tell me. You'll never tell me. So let me in this boat." So they let Jesus in the boat. And then they was driving on a boat, and like they was getting ate up by the waters, right? And the water was going onto the boat, and they were freaking out. And they told Jesus to wake up, and he farted on them. And then they was like, "Jesus Christ, get up for real." So then Jesus got up, and they explained to him that they're sinking. And so he went up the stairs, boom, 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 and then told the wind to shut the fuck up because he was trying to sleep. And everybody keeps waking him up, and he's really mad about that. And he told them, "You could have just prayed. You would have been fine. But okay, now I'm going back to bed." So that's what happened. And then he tried to go somewhere private. But of course, these terrible ass people who can't be grateful for what they have, ran ahead of Jesus in case he was going to do something without them. They they didn't even follow his shiny piles of shit. They knew what places he was exiled from. So they just knew he wasn't going to go there. So that's what they did. Okay. And then, hold on. And then, yeah, they started Jesus was coming there for his tour. Okay. And then they just started throwing sick people outside, hoping Jesus would, knowing Jesus would save them, sick, dead people and stuff. So that's what he did. His wellness clinic was going around saving people. Okay. Now we're picking up on chapter 7. So if all that confuzzleness sounds great to you, come on in and have a seat. It'll be a good time. And don't forget, press like and subscribe and chat in the chat because I can see the chat now. I got it up here. Maybe I should hold on. Go to live chat. So then I'll see you for sure. Yeah. So come on, because we're going to chapter 7. Oh yeah, wait. Tell me where you're coming in from and what you're drinking and what you're smoking. I am drinking some RC cola. I'm smoking. I got roll your own cigarettes today. And Dustin gave me some kind of new weed. I don't even know what it's called. Something fudge sickle. Yeah. And it smells pretty strong. I've been smoking it out of the bowl. I don't feel really high, but I'm probably way fucking blasted. And I took all my medicine, right? Yeah, I took my medicine. So, welcome on in. Oh, some other time. So, welcome in. We're in chapter 7. Okay. And the Pharisees and some of the scribes gathered together around him when they had come from Jerusalem and seen one of his and he had seen some of his disciples were eating their bread with impure hands that is unwashed. How can you tell that? Did they leave poopy stains on their hands? Well, they didn't have bleach wipes back then, but I would assume they had toilet paper or like some kind of something fashioned out of. I don't know what's happening, but how would they know their hands are not washed? Whatever. Anyway, for the for the Pharisees and all of these terrible ass God people do not eat unless they carefully wash their hands, thus observing the traditions of the elders. And when they come from the marketplace, they do not eat unless they cleanse themselves. And there are many other things of which they have received in order to observe, such as the washing of cups and pitchers and copper pots. Okay, look, those are the things. And the Pharisees and the scribes asked him, "Why do your disciples not walk according to the tradition of the elders, but eat their bread with impure hands?" Jesus is about to mic drop these people. Are you ready? Get ready because Jesus is about to mic drop. This is the first time that he actually pisses these people off on purpose. So, let's see what he said. And he said to them, rightly, did Isaiah prophesy of you hypocrites? It's written, yeah, this people honor me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. But in vain do they worship me, teaching as doctrines the precepts of men. Right? These fucking made up God rules. Yeah, God didn't say any of that shit. First off, Paul did. Okay. Neglecting the commandment of God, you hold the tradition of men. He was also saying to them, you nicely set aside the commandment of God in order to keep your tradition. For Moses said, honor your father and your mother. Honor your father and mother. And he who speaks evil of them, let him be put to death. But you say, if a man says to his parents, anything of mine you might have been helped is given to God. If you no longer permit him to do anything for his parents, then this is invalidating the word of God by your tradition, which you have handed down, and you do many things such as that. And after he did a mic drop and walked away. No, that's not what it says. It says, and afterward, he called the multitude to him again. He began saying to them, hey, y'all, check it out, all of you, and understand there is nothing outside the man which going into him can defile him, but the things which proceed out of the man are what defiles the man. Hey, cousin, welcome. Other people should be showing up shortly because right when I get in the middle of the story, people show up. But anyway, Jesus right now is teaching the, if you watch the outside of the cup, it's not, it's worse. If you watch the outside of the cup instead of the inside, it doesn't really matter. You still suck. It goes something like that. Yeah. You're like whitewashed graves, I think is what he's about to call them. Anyway. Okay. Okay. It might have been helped by anything I might have helped you with is now dedicated to God, thus invalidating the word of God by tradition, which you have handed down. And you do many things such as that. And after he called the multitude and said to them, mic drop, hey, listen, y'all need to listen. There is nothing outside the man which going into him can defile him, but the things which proceed out of the man, they defile him. If any man has ears to hear, let him hear. Yeah, let him hear. And when leaving the multitude, he had entered the house. His disciples questioned him about the parable. And he said, you motherfuckers are so dumb. I'm sorry, that's not what he said. He said, are you so lacking in understanding? You do not understand whatever goes into the man from the outside cannot defile him, because it does not go into his heart, but his stomach, and then becomes dookie, which sometimes is very painful. Anyway, get out of there. What are you doing? Get out of there. Yeah, I'm talking to you. What are you doing? Lay down. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Lay down. These cats, they're getting on my last damn nerve. Anyway, whatever goes into the man from outside cannot defile him, because it does not go into his heart, but into his stomach, and is eliminated. Thus, he declared all food clean. Yeah. So y'all can eat bacon because of Jesus. And he was saying, that which proceeds out of the man is what defiles him. For from within, or out of his heart, and out of the heart of men proceeds evil thoughts, fornications, theft, murder, adultery, deeds of coveting and wickedness, as well as deceit, sensuality, envy, slander, pride, and foolishness. All these evil things proceed from within and defile the man. And from there he arose and went away to the region of Tyre. And when he had entered a house, he wanted no one to know of it. Yet he could not escape notice. No, you can't, because you do one thing for these people and they expect you to make them live. They live off of you because of their rat snakes. And then, hold on. He wanted no one to notice it, but he could not escape notice. But after hearing of him, a woman whose little daughter had an unclean spirit immediately came and fell at his feet. Now the woman was a Gentile of the Syrophoenician race, so she was a white chick, and she kept asking him to cast the demon out of her daughter. And he was saying to her, "You're a dog. You don't get to eat the food." And she was like, "No, even dogs get scraps, so, like, give me your chicken bone, I'll make soup." And he was like, "Man, that's amazing. You are so amazing. Yeah, your daughter will be fine. Why aren't you on this tour with me? Man, you'd be such a cool side chick." I mean, I'm just saying, I haven't met Mary yet, but man, you would be great to have on this tour. But anyway, your daughter's fine. Yeah. And again, he went out from Tyre and came through Sidon to the Sea of Galilee within the region of Decapolis. And they brought to him one who was deaf and spoke with difficulty. And they entreated him to lay his hands upon them. And he took them aside from the multitude by himself and put his fingers into his ear. So Jesus, like, literally hacked a loogie in this guy's face. Oh, bleh. Look, I can't even take life right now. What kind of shit is that? Anyway, and then not only did he spit on this dude, he, like, gave him one of those wet willies. Oh, this is terrible. Overcomplicated people do that. Do I do that? I don't think I do that, Ricky. Hold on. We're almost done. And looking up to heaven with a deep sigh, he said, "A full of Avantia." And that is, oh, he said, "Open says me." And his ears were opened, and the impediment of his tongue was removed, and the spit just dried up off of his face. I didn't say that. Anyway, and he began speaking plainly about how these terrible God people are the bad guys. No, I'm sorry, he's just red pilling people. And he gave them orders not to tell anyone. But these people can't keep their fucking mouths shut. So they went and told everybody. And they were utterly astonished, saying, "He has done all things well. He makes even the deaf hear and the slightly uneducated to speak of the stock market. And we don't even know what that is." Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Press like and subscribe. We're going on to chapter 8. Okay. Let's go on to chapter 8, shall we? In those days, again, there was a great multitude, and they had nothing to eat. Oh, here we go. It's a good time. And he called to his disciples and said, "I feel compassion for the multitude, because they have remained with me now 3 days. And I'm pretty sure they're going to go away because I haven't done nothing for them in a while. So, what do you think I should do, dudes?" And they're like, "You should go stimulate the economy, because, this economy is kind of ran by poor people. So you could go stimulate the economy and let them go and buy stuff." And Jesus is like, "No, I don't think so. I think that's a bad idea. Nobody should stimulate an economy. That's not what we do. We give all of our stuff away. So, Mm, what else? What else? How much do we have? And they were like, a few small fish. And after that, he blessed them. And then he asked his dad to go to the drive-thru. That's God Jr., you know. He asked God Jr. to go to the drive-thru to Wendy's and get them fish sandwiches because Jesus, that's his favorite food, fish sandwich. So God Jr. is like, you're getting aggravating, son. I'm running out of money. And the deep fryer is broken. And God the third, Jesus, is like, that's okay, but, you know, go to Wendy's, fish sandwich. So God Jr. went to Wendy's and bought Jesus and all of his friends a fish sandwich. And then they ate and were satisfied. And they picked up 7 large baskets full of what was left over. Uh, what was left over of the broken pieces. The crust of the bread. That they, anyway. Anyway, it was like the sides of the bread that people pull off because they don't want to eat just plain bread. So it was like kind of pieces of bread like that. And about 4,000 was there, and he sent them away. Well, I guess he sent them away with money so they could still stimulate the economy with a full belly. Got it. Okay. And immediately he entered a boat with his disciples and came to the district of Del Mantua. No, Del Manuta. Dominuta. Yeah, that's a word. And these terrible ass God people came out and began to argue with them, seeking truth from him and a sign from heaven to test him. He's been healing people. Literally, he's been on this tour healing people, but they're like, no, anybody can heal somebody, even though you do it with some kind of magic shit. Anybody can do that, with their mind. You're just tricking people into thinking they're better. But I'm sure as soon as you leave, everything goes back to the way it was. I don't know that to be true, but I'm guessing. Okay? I'm guessing. And him sighing deeply, like, these fucking people. So, anyways, sighing deeply in his spirit, he said, why does this generation seek for a sign? Because listen, I'm telling you, no sign will be given to this generation. And leaving him, he again embarked and went away to the other side. And they had forgotten to take the bread and did not have more than one loaf in the boat with them. Okay, here we go. He was giving orders to them, saying, watch out! Beware of the leaven of the Pharisees and the leaven of Herod. And they began to discuss with one another the fact they had no bread. And Peter was like, oh my God, we forgot the bread. I forgot the bread. I forgot the bread. Oh my God. He's going to be so mad. He is going to murk us. Yeah. Look, something's going to happen. Anyway, and Jesus, aware of this, said to them, what are you guys talking about? Don't you know word magic? You've been with me for how long and you don't know word magic? That's completely crazy to me that you don't know word magic. You've been with me for how long now? Like half a year? A year? Look, what's going on? No one knows. No one knows what's going on because no one pays attention. Like I would be talking about food. Really? Like Herod's going to give you food. Like these terrible ass God people are actually going to give you something. You guys are out of your mind and you need to pay attention. I'm talking about what they say to you. You guys, listen, you guys are so dumb. I have to read what I said word for word. So I know what I said. So I could just tell you exactly what I said. I'm going to tell you. And he said, why do you discuss the fact you have no bread? Do you not see or understand? Do you have a hardened heart? Having eyes you do not see, and having ears you do not hear, and you do not remember because you have a lot of brain injuries. Jesus didn't say that. Nikki K said that. When I broke the 5 loaves for 5,000, how many baskets full of broken pieces did you pick up? And they said 12. And when I broke the 7 for 4,000, how many baskets were full? And they were like 7. And he was saying to them, "Do you not understand?" And they came to Bethsaida, and they brought a blind man to him and entreated him to touch him. And taking the blind man by the hand, he said, "So what do you want?" And the dude's like, "I would not mind seeing what the color white looks like, because I heard it's really beautiful and stuff. And, God's going to be dressed in white. And I guess if he's coming, I would like to see what the color white looks like, so I know for sure it's God or not. Because it's very important. And I would like to see it, God on Cloud Dolphin." And Jesus is like, "My name is God the Third. And I will be on Cloud Dolphin. It's going to be so much fun. Here, you can see. So you can see the color white." Okay. And taking the blind man by the hand, he brought him out of the village. And after spitting in his face again, "Jesus, why are you spitting on people? Stop it. Stop spitting on people." He might be, Jesus is feeling some kind of way walking around spitting on people. Who spits on people? Jesus does. Jesus spits on people. That's fucking crazy. After spitting in his face and laying his hands upon him, he's like, "Do you see?" And he said, "I see men, for I am seeing them like trees walking about." Then again, he laid his hands on his eyes, and he looked intently and was restored. And Jesus said, "Look at my outfit, it's all white." And the guy's like, "Oh, that's a pretty color. Hey, Debs." And he sent him to his home, saying, "Do not even enter the village." And Jesus went out along with his disciples to the villages of Caesarea Philippi. And on the way, he questioned the disciples, saying, uh, "Who do the people say that I am?" And they told him, "John the Baptist." And others say, "Elijah." But others say, you're some kind of prophet." And he continued, saying, "But who do you say I am?" And Peter said, "I think you are the Christ." And he warned them never to say that again. And he began to teach them that the Son of Man must suffer the scribes and be deleted from his own dad's YouTube. And after 3 days, rise again. That's 420. And he was talking in the matter plainly. And Peter was like, "What are you doing?" And Jesus was like, "Shut up and get behind me, Satan. Yeah, you're talking about man shit, but I gotta do God shit." Anyway, he summoned the multitude with his disciples and said, "If anyone wishes to come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. For whoever wishes to save his life will lose it. But whoever loses his life for my sake and the gospel's sake will save it. For what does it profit a man to gain the whole world and forfeit his soul? For what shall a man give exchange for his soul? For whoever is ashamed of me and my words in this adulterous and sinful generation, the Son of Man will also be ashamed of him, even when it comes to the glory of the Father with the holy angels. Dun, dun, dun. Hey, Neil. Hey, Debs. So, what do you guys think of that chapter? Right there. Okay. Good night, guys. I love you. Good night.